Chris, as you know, I founded an organization called Zami Nobila, National Organization of Black Lesbians on Aging, based here in Atlanta. Could you talk to us at 92 years of age about why you think it's important for black lesbians over 40 to support the organization?
Well, I think it's quite important for our lesbians, black lesbians over 40, because that's a good age to start thinking about perhaps becoming over 50, and then over 60, and then over 70, and if you're fortunate enough, over 80, and then over 90. And so you have a goodly number of years to prepare for your later retirement, because most of us are still working until about, well, I would say around 60 or so. And there's not too much time to start saving money up or thinking, or even thinking too much about the old age. So it's a good idea to get that early start.
A lot of people are really impressed that you and your partner have been able to stay together for almost 50 years, or perhaps over 50 years. Can you talk a little bit about what your secrets are? Give us some tips for maintaining a long relationship. I'm sorry.
Well, I believe we were over 40 when we started. And
41 and 42.
And and we had experienced a goodly part of life, and with family, children, and our jobs, and we felt that this was a good time to plan a life together. And incidentally, we did fall in love. And it was an easy way for the two of us, because the children were behind us, and we were both well educated, and we both had good jobs. Now, as far as staying together as long as we've stayed in the relationship, you know, it's difficult if you don't have some similarities. In similarities, I mean, you're able to understand life in general, because you have had a goodly amount of experiences. Now, to remain in the relationship for as long as we have, I think that it took a goodly amount of compassion, consideration for each other, understanding each other, knowing and caring about each other to the extent that although we might have differences, at times we were always able to come together, and we never ever went to bed in an unsettled way. If we'd had a rather loud discussion during the day, we settled it before retiring for bed. Caring about each other. And of course, the fact that we were capable of not having to worry too much about the money, the financial part of living together, because we were already settled in our profession at the time we got together. And so we were very able to grow old together, become seniors, retire, and we were able to support ourselves without having to borrow money or anything of that sort. And we just and we still love each other. What you say to that, Althea?
I agree with everything you said so far.
So I know that you all are still maintaining and living in your own home with the support of family and friends. Could you talk a little bit about that, how important that is to you and how it keeps you from being so isolated? Like a lot of elders that we know are very isolated. Could you talk a little bit about the support of family and friends and being able to continue to live in your own home, unlike so many others?
Well, the main thing I think is that we knew at the time that we got together that we probably, unless something drastic occurred in the employment field, we knew that we would be able to carry on into further old age. We were very fortunate. I adopted Althea's family, and she adopted my family. And we've never ever had a problem where that's concerned. No family opposition to our being together. And as far as being independent, well, we both have pensions. And we don't have to borrow money. We're not needy. And we looked out for that when we first got together. As a matter of fact, I started planning for that for myself personally when I was in my early 30s. I made a decision that I would work at a certain type job and that I would remain in that field. So I worked for the Federal Service. And fortunately, when I met Althea, she too worked for the Federal Service. So we're very independent, very.
You and Althea have been such great inspirations to many, if not most, of the black lesbians who live here in Atlanta and really nationwide. As you know, we're having a gathering in October 2016 with OLOC, Old Lesbians Organizing for Change. Will you and Althea be attending the conference that Zami Noble and OLOC will be putting on in October? Will you be coming to the gathering?
Oh, yes, definitely we'll come to the gathering, God willing. I will have my cane, and she will have her walker. We are still able to get along without assistance, and I mean, well, financial assistance with no problem. However, since we're now old people, we do have certain infirmaries that sort of kind of limited us. For example, I don't dance anymore, okay? And I can't do the jumping up exercises anymore. But I'm still driving. Mm-hmm. And we still cook for each other. Althea still washes the clothes. And I still do a little bit of dusting and whatnot. And with assistance from a cleaning lady. And but had we not started thinking about getting old one day, you see, we wouldn't be in the position that we are in, because fortunately we don't have to ask anybody for anything. We're not needy people.
You're both very alert mentally. How do you stay so mentally agile? Do you do any kind of exercises? Like, do you play crossword puzzles, or you read, or you have vigorous discussions? You watch? Do you follow what's going on politically? Could you talk a little bit about how you're both able to stay so lucid and mentally alert?
Well, for one thing, we both can read, and we both of us like books, and we both like right now what's going on in the political scene. We also enjoy music, and we enjoy the television. Some things on television we just don't look at because we don't like some things, but mostly we do like things.
What's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show happens to be on Georgia Public Television, and it is about Father Brown. And Father Brown is like although he's a minister, he is like a detective, and he's always finding the person. And incidentally, I've always been a detective story reader to begin with. But I like a wide variety of reading styles. I'm very lean toward poetry also. When I was younger, I used to write poetry.
What candidate are you supporting for the presidency of the United States?
Well, I am supporting Hillary Clinton.
Could you tell me why?
Well, for one thing, I liked my Bill Clinton. I really did. I liked the job that he did. And I liked the fact that she worked so hard trying to get the health thing together while he was the president. And I like the idea of a woman being president. She's very intelligent. She has a law degree. She's been a senator. She was the Secretary of State, and I followed Bill and Hillary for many years, and I am a lifelong registered Democrat from age 18 up to age 92.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking with me, Chris. I really appreciate it. And, I'm sure there's going to be a part 2. I'm going to now turn it over to Angela, who is going to be giving you all lessons on how to use the iPad.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. I do have a computer.
Of course you do.
It's gathering dust.